Shalom, shalom, Israel. Happy Sabbath to you, brothers and sisters. First off, giving all praises, honor to the Most High and to His Son, Yahweh Shah. Today's class is America, Mystery Babylon. And we're going to go into this spiel today to bring this out because we hear a lot of doctrines out there to where a lot of people don't know that America is Mystery Babylon that Revelation 17 is referring to. You know, a lot of times people think that it's the Vatican City, you know, and we're going to go through that today because like we got to always understand Rome, American is an extension of Rome. It's basically the same people that's govern both of the bodies of both of those kingdoms. Like they like to divide themselves and hide themselves amongst the other nations, but they are all one nation of people. And we're gonna cover this through the scriptures, through the precepts today. Give me Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8, Officer God. Because a lot of times people can't see it through the scriptures. That's what a lot of times brothers and sisters got to be keeping the commandments, man. Got to pray that the Most High give you understanding. Because guess what? The Most High always prophesied about every great kingdom. Guess what? America is no different. Because if America went in the Bible, then this Bible wouldn't be a total book of prophecies. You know, it talks about this. It just don't say America verbatim in there. But guess what? It gives them the characteristics in the Bible, and you have to put the pieces together. Read that out.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. Mm-hmm. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries.
Against who?
Prophesied both against many countries.
So this is Jeremiah speaking. He prophesied in the Babylon time too. Now we got to understand that was during 586 BC. And that's what a lot of people get hung up at. We got to understand that the Bible is two folds in the Bible. Yes, in this context, it could be talking about modern day Babylon, which they was in, but then it's also talking about a future Babylon, which is today, America. Read that from the top again now.
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries.
Because the Most High always used the prophets to prophesy against many countries that come against Israel and to give them warning for our people to repent and come out of those countries' ways. Read on out.
And against great kingdoms.
And against what?
And against great kingdoms.
Because we was in 7 major captivities. The Egyptians was a great captivity. Guess what? He used Moses to prophesy about that kingdom. Babylonians was a great captivity. He used Ezekiel and Jeremiah. The Assyrians was a great captivity. Guess what? He used Hosea and Isaiah. The Persian Medes, he used Nehemiah and Ezra. Guess what? Greece, the Maccabees, Romans, guess what? Christ, the disciples, he used all of these people. And guess who he's using today? Us, to prophesy against America. It's no different today. Read that from the top again.
Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms.
Because this is a great kingdom. This country is the richest, most powerfulest country in the world. It's a superpower. Read on up.
Of war.
Of what?
Of war.
Now, don't America bring forth many wars just like the Babylon from the past brought forth many wars? It's the same characteristics. Read on up.
And of evil.
Don't they teach much evil in this country, man? When you go through all the different doctrines, passing homosexual laws, passing pedophilia laws. Now, in some states, you can marry animals. It's no end to the evil of this country, man. It goes on and on and on. You got something?
Yeah. And what I'm bringing out, I mean, like I'm bringing out, he did use all the prophets to prophesy in these different captivities. And like I said, if they did not prophesy, if the Bible didn't say that, then it's not going to happen. But if the Bible says it, it's going to happen. See, the thing is, he used all of the prophets. Those were the wise men at the time period, just like he using us at this time period. We're the wise men. Let me get a precept on it. Give me Ecclesiastes 8 and 1. And we're going to go back to Jeremiah.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Who is as the wise man?
He said, who is as the wise man? Who is as the wise man like all the prophets were in the Bible? That's us, man. We as the wise man. Read on.
And who knoweth the interpretation of a thing?
And now who know the interpretation of the thing? This is King Solomon talking right here, man. Read on.
A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed.
And the boldness of the face. So when, like, a lot of time when we saying our own personal words, yeah, you would just see, I just see Benaniah, but when he's teaching his word, you'll see Captain Benaniah up here teaching. You see the boldness of him, because guess what? You see the boldness of the faith because you're seeing the scriptures coming out. But the only way you can see the scriptures coming out, drop down to verse 5 right quick.
Verse 5. Whoso keepeth the commandment.
He said, do what now?
Whoso keepeth the commandment.
Because all the prophets in the Bible, and plus Christ and the disciples, all of them kept the commandments of the Bible. Read on up.
Shall fear no evil thing.
Because they don't shall feel no evil thing. Read on.
And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment.
So that's what all the prophets in the Bible was doing. They were discerning the times and the judgment. Just are we just the same as we doing in this present day, discerning the times and the judgment, man. Go ahead.
Them some good precepts. When you jump back up to number 1, who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? Because a lot of times people don't understand that the prophets, they prophesied in that time, but they was also giving us future prophecies. You know, we got to understand that goes back to Job chapter 11 and 6, because a lot of times I hear Christian apologists and other Christians, oh, that's talking about Babylon, but it's key words in there to let you know that it's talking about a future Babylon. Many precepts in the Bible. And then when you jump down to verse 5, like I was bringing out, a wise man's heart discerning both time and judgment. So guess what? We living in a time where the Most High is going to bring a great judgment on this kingdom, man. It's no joke, man. There was some good precepts. Let's go back to Jeremiah. Read that from the top again.
Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And of what?
Pestilence.
Now give me Hosea chapter 12 and verse 10, because it's going into the same thing Captain Jeremiah had just brought out. We got to understand the parables and the similitudes that the Most High has given us. He is comparing past Babylon, which in modern day Iraq today, to this present Babylon, which is America, because it was all confusion. Going back to the time of Nimrod, Babel, which means confusion, because that's where the Most High came down and confounded their speech. You know, they couldn't understand each other's speech, so it confused them, so they left off from building the Tower of Babylon. That spirit is still here today in this earth, and it's dealing mainly with America. Read that up.
The book of Hosea chapter 12, verse 10. I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions.
Multiplied what?
Visions.
Because he gave the prophets visions. They didn't understand or had the words back then, but guess what? They was writing it to the best of their ability and giving us the understanding today, describing in the best words that they had for the cultural context that we have today and for back then. Read on up.
And use similitude.
And use what?
Similitude.
A similitude is where you compare one thing to another. So that's what the Most High was doing. He was comparing the past Babylon to this present Babylon. Read on up.
By the ministry of the prophet.
By the ministry of what?
By the ministry of the prophet.
Because he had them write it in different ways that was hard to be understood. And he gave us the directions on how we understand it. First and foremost, you got to be an Israelite. And then secondly, guess what? You got to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Then thirdly, you got to read the Bible precept upon precept. It's no other way around it. When you're not doing all those three, guess what? You're not gonna have the true understanding. You will be thinking that the Vatican is Babylon, or you'll be thinking they're still talking about past Babylon. Give me
he had to write it like this, because if he hadn't written it like this, you wouldn't be looking at a Bible right today.
Exactly.
You'd be looking at a made up word. They just made up some stuff, put it in the book and say, follow these laws. Because if he would have said America, you think this book would have been in America today? No. They'd have banned this a long time ago. It's been one of the main books they banned, or burned all of them. Wouldn't even allow them to be copied no more.
That's exactly right.
So it makes it like a history book, but it's telling you the future through the history of the book.
Let's go to Revelation chapter 17, verse 1, because that's a great point I brought out. You think if they had that in there, but we wouldn't have a Bible today, man. Esau and them, because guess what? Why do you think they took out the Apocrypha? Because that bridges the Old and the New Testament. That gives us explicit history of the Greeks and why we were called Greeks in Galatians 3:28, what Christianity loved to pull. You know, that understanding is in the Apocrypha. Read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials.
Now, this is talking about an angel came to John on the island of Patmos and was giving him visions and understanding what was going to happen in the last days. That's what is the book of Revelation. Read on up.
And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
The judgment of the what?
The judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
That sitteth upon many waters, meaning that they in everybody else's country, they controlling all the waters. Hell, they control the whole planet, man. This is a nation that was going to be in control of everything. The same characteristics that, guess what, they had in the past Babylon. During the past Babylon, guess what? They was in control of what we call the so-called Middle East today. You know, and this place, what John is bringing up today, has these same characteristics. Give me
and that's why they got in there saying from sea to shining sea.
That too. Give me, jump down to 17 and 15.
The book
verse
of
15.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 15.
Because this is a precept to verse 1. Read that out to tell you what the water is. Read on up.
And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth.
Where the what?
Where the whore sitteth.
Because that's what the Bible calls this, because it's all different type of spiritual fornication that goes on in this thing. Yes, true, they may be going around sexing everybody too, but they really dealing in spiritual fornication, pushing idols and so forth on brothers and sisters and nations. Read that up.
And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples.
Are what?
Are peoples.
Are peoples, nations, races. Read on up.
And multitude.
And what?
And multitude.
Read on up.
And nations. And tongues.
And what?
And tongues.
So now we know what that water is. That water is all these different things that verse 15 said. It's nations, peoples, and tongues, meaning that this nation that he is describing, this great whore, as the Bible describes it, will be in everybody's nation, will be in everybody's business, messing with all the peoples of the earth. This is what this is going into. Go back to Revelation 1:7.
And another similitude on that, because America got a constitution and they got what they call international law. But what they got is, what they go by is maritime law, which is called the law of water, because it's all about it's a government on the waters. That's what everything deals with. So you think your constitutional rights is what everybody go by. That's why the government do something. And then we be like, man, that's against the Constitution. But it's not against what we going by, because we go by the law of water.
Matter of fact, what he's saying, let's go get there, Jeremiah 51:12. You got that?
Yeah, you know, you heard. No,
we'll
go through that.
Touch that later. I'll get back to it.
We're going to go through all that. Because that's one of the heaviest scriptures in there that gives you the characteristics. That, and then we're finna get ready to go to. Go ahead.
Let me give you another little thing of what they do right there. That's like every land. The United States is like a ship. We all are part of a ship. That's why when you go into a ship, if you study how ships come into an area, what that's called when a ship's dock, that's called a berth. When that's called it's like when you dock, it's like a woman. It's the same thing. It's called a law of water. When you get to your what you call it, your invoice, when you take your supplies off the ship and bring them into another country, it's called a berth. That's when that shipment was born into the other country. Same way they do us. And like I said, but like when you go, why you think they come into a canal? That's like the Burke Canal. It's the same thing as when they drive into the canal. This is what they do. Y'all gotta understand these people here, man. They study what they do.
Yeah.
And it's a crap, like he said, it's a crap to counsel what they do. Everything they doing is for a reason. And that's why you got to look at these things. Sometimes you can look at something, but I always go and filter it back through the Bible. And that's what he's coming to when he's saying these things. Everything that they doing, the filters back into this Bible. So you'll know what's really going on when they doing these things. This is what your wisdom that the Most High gives is in this Bible. But you got to study this Bible. So when they come up with that, you hear that stuff, you're like, oh yeah, let's talk about such and such right there.
Because the maritime law, if you dig into it, man, it has so many different elements of it. But they dig all of this through the Bible. But the thing is, us as being the wise men in the last days, guess what? We can filter through those things.
Mm-hmm.
And when we, you know, I ain't gonna really go through the spiel of it because but the thing is, if brothers and sisters will come to class, I know they watch it online. You can come ask more questions and get more edification. But we're going to go through it. I'm going to show y'all a little something about the maritime law at the end of the class. Go ahead.
Give me Zechariah chapter 2, verse 6. We'll start there, then we'll go back to Jeremiah. Because all the prophets, Zechariah, guess what? He prophesied against this kingdom too, man. You know, all the prophets, when you go through, prophesied against some great kingdom, going back to Jeremiah 28 and 8. And America is no different, man. You know, a lot of times people got to put off that corner and look at things spiritually. They would not have the word America in the Bible verbatim, man. We got to stop that, man. But he does give the characteristics. Read this,
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8,
verse 6.
Verse 6. Ho, come forth and free from the land of the north.
That's the land of the north, North America. And also is going into Babylon too, because they was north of Israel. I mean, of Israel. Go ahead up.
Ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, said the Lord. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven.
Because he put us in captivity when we break his laws. That's what the four winds of heaven is going into. Read on up.
Said the Lord.
Read on up.
Deliver thyself, O Zion.
Do what?
Deliver thyself,
the
O
Bible
Zion.
says, deliver thyself. We deliver ourselves by repenting, coming back to our nationality, and keeping the commandments. Read on up.
That dwelleth with the daughter of Babylon.
That dwelleth with the what?
That dwelleth with the daughter of Babylon.
Now, does anybody know who the daughter of Babylon is? Y'all got a precept for that? Who is the daughter of Babylon? We should all know that one. Give me Psalms 137 and 7. So it's telling us to deliver thyself.
The book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
The children of who?
The children of Edom.
It says, remember, O Lord. King David is prophesying. Read on up.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it,
destroy it. Read on up.
Even to the foundation thereof.
Because this was when they came against us in the Babylonian captivity in 586 BC, when the Babylonians surrounded Jerusalem, just like in 70 AD. They was destroying us, and we tried to exit out through the back way. And guess what? Our so-called brothers, the Edomites, was closing off the way and was telling the Babylonians, here they is, come get them. Destroy them. Read on up.
O daughter of Babylon.
O daughter of who?
O daughter of Babylon.
So this precepts let you know that the Edomites are the daughter of Babylon. Read on up.
Who ought to be destroyed.
Man, that second part right there is heavy, man. It says who ought to be destroyed. So it's going to come a time where the Most High is going to destroy them all from off the face of the planet, man. Read on, huh?
Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us.
Because the Most High is going to reward them as they had did unto us. Read on, huh?
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth the little ones against the stone.
Because a lot of times people don't know that history of 1492, when the conquistadors came over and destroyed a lot of our brothers and sisters, the Taino Indians and the Native American Indians. They was taking the babies and smashing them against the stones. That happened during that time, and guess what? It also happened during the time of Babylonian too. But we have written records and drawings from the Jesuit priests that show you that exactly what they was doing, hanging up different members of tribes by 12s and 13s. For the 12 disciples and the 13th for Christ. This is history that a lot of times our people don't have access to, but guess what? It's everywhere that we can get it, man. That's why we said, blessed is he that readeth Israel. We have to learn, buckle down and read and search our history, man. Let's go back. Read verse 7 again in Zechariah.
We went back to Revelation. Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth with the daughter of Babylon.
So now we know who the daughter of Babylon is. It's the Edomites. Now let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51, and we'll start at verse 1. No, verse 5. Read on down.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
For Israel had not been forsaken.
So throughout all the scriptures, guess what? We break God's commandments, but the Most High never forsakes us. You know, we always have a chance to repent. Read on up.
For Israel had not been forsaken,
Uh-huh.
nor Judah of his God.
Of whose God?
Of his God.
Of everybody's God.
Of his God.
Read on up.
Of the Lord of hosts. Through the land, through their land. Though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel.
Though our land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel, because guess what? We continually throughout the captivities break God's commandments, man. That's why he sends the other nations against us, man, because he uses them as a belt to whoop us back into shape, to whoop us back into repentance. Read on up.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Read that again up.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Read on up.
And deliver every man his soul.
Now we're gonna deal with that too, because it was once taught that we should just leave, pack up our bags and leave America, flee America. But let's read that again and get some understanding. Read that again from the top.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
So is this physical? Is this carnal? Read on up.
And deliver every man his soul.
It says deliver every man his soul. Deliver your spirit. So guess what? That means don't take on the philosophies or the traditions of America. Deliver your soul. Come back to who you are as a nation of people. Put on your commandments that what fills your spirit. Read that from the top again. We're gonna let this sink in for
real
for a lot of brothers and sisters, because they love to pack up their bags and leave. And it's like America controls the whole planet. Where can you go that their influence is not reached? They everywhere. They in Russia. They in Africa. Guess what? They in Australia. They in Antarctica. You cannot go nowhere, man.
And we got a brother in the Philippines. Guess what? They might be 10, 15 years behind America, but America controls every detail of their country. We got Walmart here. Guess what they got? Walter World.
Exactly. Because guess what? Why do you think the Vietnam was for? For control over that area over there. So guess what? It's no reach that they can't. There's no place on earth that they arm is not.
Shalaka, I mean, they got Walter Mart. That's what they got. Not Walter. They got Walter Mart. We got Walmart here, and they got Walter Mart. See, it's no different, man. They control every detail of every single country, man. And
where they don't control, they go to war.
That's right. Exactly.
That's why they're doing the same thing. They control South Korea. They ain't got control over North Korea. So it's a threat on North Korea. They ain't control Syria. Guess what? It's a threat on Syria. They can't control Iraq. It's a threat on Iraq. Every time, that's all it is. Hey, man, hold on. Y'all ain't going to recycle. Same way with Venezuela.
Yep.
That's going on with Venezuela now. See, when they was in control of Venezuela, Venezuela was a prosperous country. But as soon as they got a leader in there that went against a lot of things that America went, they sanction. They won't even let them get their own money. Then they blame it on the government. No, it's the United States that done that. All you gotta do is let the people get their own money, and they'll be out of debt.
Right.
But it's control. Like I said, they got a game plan. We just need to get back with the Most High God.
And that's what the Bible outlines, because we're going to cover that all today, man. Showing you that the Romans, the Greeks, they all have the same characteristics, letting you know that they are the same people. And brothers need to come up out of that Esau is the Arab's doctrine, man.
Man, for real, because
it don't line up.
Because Esau has the blessings of war. By thy sword shall thy live. That's how they take over every country. By the sword. And they by peace, Greek. I'm gonna shake hands with you. And if everything cool, no, they come in there, they bringing the sword down.
Because I understand where brothers get caught up, but you got to make sure that all the prophecies line up with Esau. Not just one, because they use that one to where the Saudi Arabians or the Arabs are over there chopping off heads. Yes, they are over there chopping off heads, but what is the modern day sword today? The gun, weapons. That's what's used to kill people. Now, when have we seen Arabs jumping out of planes, living men of the field, or eating raw meat, or
going
red
in and out of space.
or going in and out of space. All those characteristics line up with only one race of people, man. We got to come up out of that foolishness, man.
But and to put everything into perspective today, because man, our brain is a real good subject, man. Look, everybody, a lot of people don't understand that the original Arabs were dark-skinned people. So the Arabs that you see and the Ishmaelites that you see, majority of them are Esau, majority of them, man. And just being real. But guess what? Esau is the so-called white man, no matter how you put it. He might mix among the race, but you are who your father is, man.
And even to make the grand point, Esau, the Arabs, is not controlling the earth, man.
No.
They have oil, but guess what? If America is not buying it, they are broke. When you go over there, man, deserts over there, man. They only have that one building, the Dubai building. All that is dirt and dust, man. They have nothing compared to America, man. They reach is not all over the planet, man. We got to come up out of this. Go ahead,
and they can't even protect themselves because anytime they get in trouble, they call America.
Man, come on.
That's why America got that, and the ones that sitting over in Saudi Arabia, them Edomites too. Those aren't the original. Those aren't the original Arabs anyway. So they there to play their facade into tricking you in the. See, that's them. No, that's why they do the sword things like that. Because the fact of the matter is, when they do that, you'll look at it and say, yeah, that's them right there. That's Esau.
Only one characteristics out of all the ones that the Bible outlined. You just pick one. What about the rest of the characteristics, man? We got to come up out of that madness, man.
And let the man come up to them with a sword.
Man, for real.
And the United States going to push the button on.
Man, look here, man. Look at them like this too. So it's basically going into this. Look, Israel, if you believe in the Arabs is Esau, guess what? Get ready for captivity.
Hey, we got another 1,000 years coming, man. Another one coming.
Another one to come.
Let's get back to it, man. We got a lot to cover. Read verse 6 again.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity.
Don't be cut off in this America's iniquity, man. Read on up.
For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance.
For this is the time of the Lord's what?
Vengeance.
Because guess what? The Most High is pissed off, man, for what this nation is doing, man. Encompassing evil all over the globe. Read on up.
He will render unto her a recompense.
He gonna pay them back for all the crimes against humanity that they done did. Because think about all the things that they done did. A lot of times people lose track of this. 1492, they killed over 70 million Native Americans and it's Taino Indians, man. Going into our brothers from the northern tribe. Then you bring it up to the transatlantic slave trade. Just 100 million of us died just getting over here. Then when we got over here, how many millions died? Being lynched, being castrated, doing this, doing that. Then after that, we had 100 years of lynching. Then after that, we had the Jim Crow laws, man. This nation done perpetuated evil across the globe that we cannot even imagine. Even all the way by us, even though we know we got the blunt of that. Look what they did to the Aborigines in Australia, the people in China. Because these names weren't called those names until they came over there, pushing their policies on people. And this is one of the things that we're going to get into, too.
And another thing, they let you know, we went through all of them atrocities that they put us through. That should let you know that we just didn't get in here and lay down.
Yep.
We was fighting back too, man. But guess what? That was the Lord brought the sword against us. We couldn't do nothing with the sword the Lord put on us, man.
Nothing we could do. Read verse 7 now.
Verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand.
Because guess what? He gave all, just like he did in ancient Babylon, he gave all the kingdoms into Babylonian hand, into King Nebuchadnezzar's hand. It had been a golden cup to do whatever she pleases, teach whatever she want to do as she will. Read on not just like America. Then gave them all the technology, nuclear weapons. Now they don't even have to send armies over there. All they can do is just press a button to send drones over there, man. Like, and they ain't the people of war. Like, we got to stop, man. Read on now.
That made all the earth drunken.
That made all the earth what?
That made all the earth drunken.
Because they done made all the earth drunken with their philosophies, pushing homosexuality over there in Iraq. Guess what? The women didn't know nothing about wearing pants over there. Now, a lot of them wearing pants over there, man. America comes in your country and takes it over and push their ways onto them, man. People do not like that, and people is getting fed up with that, man. Because even when they bring their wars in there, bringing porn over there, man, them people never knew nothing about that. Bringing Christmas over there, man. Then guess what? We know that the things are seeping in because people no longer wear their turbans and things. They start wearing suits now. So we know that they have a big influence on them. Go ahead, Up.
Yeah, and they've been doing this for a while. A lot of countries getting fed up on it because a lot of them always say, "No, we don't want to hear those American philosophies." You know, the American way of doing things. They corrupted even when a lot of Arabs used to say that. We don't want that over here. And that's why they come out with that Sharia law.
Sharia law.
Sharia law is what they want to go by because they want to get their people from being westernized.
Exactly. And like we say, none of these things add up to the Vatican City. How many of our people is over there? Maybe 5 Negroes over there in the Vatican City, man. It says the majority of our people will be dwelling with the daughter of Edom, of Babylon, man. You know, we got to understand these things. Vatican City is not controlling the planet Earth, man. They do not have a military like America. They do not have the economics or the monetary system like America. We got to put all these things into perspective, man. Read on. Now, hold up. Give me read verse 7 again. Look at the precept on that.
Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand.
True enough, she done been a golden cup. But let's see what the Most High said about that. Give me Psalms 11:6. She done been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, man, to do whatever she pleases, man. But guess what? It done came up to the Most High, man. And he's getting fed up with it, man. And our people should have been fed up with it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 11, verse 6. Upon the wicked, he shall rain snares.
Upon the wicked, that means wicked Israelites. And guess what? It is a real wicked on the planet Earth, according to Malachi chapter 1, verse 6. Edom is the wicked that the Most High God created. We don't know why. We can't get into the thoughts of the Most High. He just always created a good, and he done created an evil. Just have all praise to the Most High, the blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans, the Israelites. We are the good that's in the Bible. Read on up.
Upon the wicked he shall rain snares.
He gonna rain snares. Read on up.
Fire and brimstone.
That's going into the nuclear weapons. Read on up.
And horrible tempest.
Coming from our Lord and Savior Yahushua. We're gonna get that later too in 2nd Ezra. Read on.
This shall be the portion of their cup.
This is gonna be the portion of that golden cup that's in their hand, man. You want to hold that cup and you want to drink from that cup, then guess what? The Most High gonna make you drink all of it, man. You're gonna choke on that cup before the end. Before he sent our Lord and Savior Yahushua. Let's go back to Jeremiah 51:7.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken.
Made all the earth what?
That made all the earth drunken.
Drunken with their lies and their philosophies. Read on up.
The nations have drunken of her wine.
The nations have drunken of her what?
The nations have drunken of her wine.
Now, is it talking about literal wine? No, this is a similar to where we have to go to Micah chapter 2, verse 11. We all should know that precept. We bring that out many a times here. You got that up? Let's go to Micah chapter 2 and 11 and see what that God compares that wine to, or what that similitude is.
Micah chapter 2, verse 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie.
Do what?
Do lie.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehoods do lie, so we talking the context is lies. Read on.
Saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink.
So the Most High is comparing wine and strong drink to lies. And that's what America pushes on all the nations. Their philosophies, their lies, their wine, their strong drink. Read on up.
He shall even be the prophet of this people.
Let's go back. So we know what the nations are drunken with. They drunken with the lies and the falsehood that America pushes on them. Read that again, huh?
Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad.
Therefore, the nations are going crazy, man, with the philosophies that they putting forth, man. They getting bugged out, man. That's why they're gonna come against America, man. The Most High gonna put it in their spirit to do that. Go ahead, huh?
And the government in the United States have become the prophets of our people. Because whatever they tell them, that's what they believe. We be out in the street screaming, blah, 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 giving you the scripture after scripture. They don't believe that. But a white dude will say, man, these guys are such and such. They'll repeat exactly what he say. And he just doing it to cause turmoil, start up some stuff, and he gone. He on the train and gone. And that's what they are. They become prophets of this people, of our people.
Now we outlining the characteristics that past Babylon have with the modern day Babylon today, which is America. Let's go back to 17 and 1. So you can start at 2 now.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
Because guess what? All nations and kings or the rulers are in league with America, man. You don't do nothing without America say so. The Vatican City, guess what? When they go to conferences or the EU, the Vatican City don't tell nations what to do. But when America go up in that conference, guess what? If you don't do what America say, what do? Put embargoes on your country to where you can't buy or sell. Vatican City is not doing that, man. They do not have that type of power. Read on up.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
They have committed spiritual fornication. Read on up.
And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Because who was going around pushing that so-called sexual bourgeoisie? Yes, it did spring out of Rome, but guess what? Who done took it to another level? America, boy. Getting these things built up everywhere. Give me, you got something?
No, I'm finna give you Revelation 18:3.
Bring it out.
Bring it out. This is gonna cover some of that fornication, spiritual fornication, and what's the cause of the spiritual fornication. Read it out.
18 and 3 of Revelation. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Read on.
And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
Read.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Because guess that's what they did. That's what America did to our people, man. They let them drink this wine, and now America became rich off of what? Wine that we drunk from. Now you celebrate your Christmases, and everybody running to these Black Fridays, and everybody running to all these pagan holidays. Now America wax rich. You just think about it. It's one commercial. It's one holiday. One of their holidays after another holiday on their commercial.
And guess what? The merchants is going into the corporations.
That's right.
Guess what? America make them rich, because if America wasn't buying Saudi Arabia oil, guess what? There'll be another third world country, man. Guess what? All these other nations come to America to get money. That's why when the Most High put in, they gonna be mad when they see a destroyer, because they ain't gonna have no more money, man, like that. So they're gonna be mad at the sight of that.
And they drink that wine. You ever notice, like I was telling Jerry about one time, I would always ask the people in the stores, what country you from? And I noticed they come in different sets in different times. Like, it'd be times where all the Arabs would run the stores in the hood.
Yeah.
Then it changed. And I told him, that's why I could tell him, I say, his brother here, he from Nepal. Ask him. They wind up being from where? Nepal. Because now it's their time to drink. Everybody, when they need to, they drink of the wine. And hey, well, how can we get ours? And they start them off. Y'all just start with these stores, and they get in the other nationality give them up, and now they doing it. Then watch, you'll see a whole new one in a little bit if we make it that far. In about 5 or 10 years, there'll be a whole new people behind the counters. Now you see Egyptians behind them. They're like, where you from? Egypt. Where you from? Egypt. It just amazed me. How you from Egypt? I mean, I can go to Carrollton and be over here, over in Dallas or something. How do you from Egypt own the store in the hood? You go over there. How you from Egypt own the store in the hood? Because it's a cycle they got. They drinking the wine of the United States and they get their money.
That's right. And like we said, we're gonna cover a lot of that, man. When brothers have something, like we tell brothers and sisters, take notes, man. Write these precepts down, man. Because you want to have your keywords next to the precept so you understand what that means. Then you want to have a precept next to that precept, man. You want to make sure that you take good notes, so if somebody try to run up on you, you already got the precepts and the understanding, man. Like we say, we bring these classes out to show our people how important it is to get their lives together, man, because guess what? The time is getting short. We did a class a few weeks ago. We're in between the 5th and the 6th seal, man. It's only 7 seals. So guess what? It's high time our people wake up and repent, man. Give me let's go back to Revelation chapter 7 and
17 and 3.
3, yeah.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast.
That scarlet is going into red. That's another name for red. Read on.
Full of names of blasphemy.
Full of names of what?
Of blasphemy.
Read on now.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, this is a precept that everybody should know. Anybody know this precept? What is that 7 heads and the 10 horns? What precept is that? You know, Junior Ox? Y'all know? Brothers, y'all know? What you got up? What precept? We know you know it, but what precept let us know that? Revelation chapter 12, verse 3. Because it describes that. It tells you that it's a red, saying the same thing as scarlet. Read that right quick, Doc.
Book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
In rulership, read on.
And behold, a great red dragon.
Now, why was this dragon red? Because it goes back to Genesis 25 and 25. This dragon is a similitude to a nation of wicked men, going back to the Edomites, man. So a lot of times when Christians reading the Bible from Matthew's, that's why when they come to Revelations, they don't understand what it's talking about. You got to read the whole Bible. The whole Bible. You just can't start from the New Testament and think you're going to get the understanding of the scriptures. I don't know what book that you can start in the middle of and get the full understanding of what the book is talking about.
Yeah. Even the brother Job said he was a brother to a dragon.
Exactly. You know, so that precept is to that in Revelation 12 and 3. So we know what is the seven heads. We all should know that. Do anybody know that?
That's the United Nations.
Not the 7 heads. What are the 7 heads? The 7 heads is going into the 7 Edomite empires.
Edomite. That's a good word.
I'm bringing them together. The 7.
Great Britain.
Can you do them in order? Go ahead. Let me hear what you got though.
Great Britain. United States.
Not United States.
Spain.
Yep.
It's gonna be Greece.
Yep.
Italy.
Because you know
France. France.
Yep. You got 4. You got 3 more. Great Britain. Everybody. What else?
Russia and Germany.
Russia and Germany.
That's right.
But we want them in order. We want to go Greece. Go ahead, you can go ahead.
Greece, Rome, Spain, Great Britain. No,
France.
Britain. France. Then it's Great Britain.
You had it right.
You had it right. Start over. Go ahead.
It's Greece, Rome, Spain, Great Britain.
Go ahead, Yeah, Junior, I can say.
Greece, Rome, France.
This one.
We're gonna go ahead and give it. What you got,
Italy.
We got Greece, Rome, Spain.
Write them down now.
Exactly.
Write them down in your Bible. Right there.
We always go over this. You know, like we say, repetition is how you learn, but you also need to write it down. Because I know I really wasn't good at memorizing. We got Greece. Greece,
Rome,
Spain, France, Germany, Russia,
Great Britain.
That's it.
Or to make it a rap.
So it's Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, Great Britain.
And we're gonna cover that. Those are the 7 Edomite empires that 7 heads is going into. And what is the 10 horns? What was the 10 horns? You had it earlier. You just said it earlier.
United Nations.
Exactly. Well, what is called EU. You know, that's the 10 common markers. That's what Daniel prophesied about, those 10 toes. That's what that was. Them 10 toes, and out of those 10 toes came America. And we're gonna go through that. Read verse 4.
We'll finish that 12 and 3 out.
Yeah, finish that out.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head.
Meaning rulership. Now let's go back to Revelation 7 and
17 and 4.
Yeah, 17 and 4.
Revelation 17 and 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Now, this America was decked with all these different pearls because guess what? America robs the wealth of nations, man. The Most High says that they are abundant in treasure. Let's get that in Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 28. And verse 5. Because even in Ezekiel, he was prophesying, he was using the king of Tyrus or the Tyre and Hamite nation to compare this to America today. Read that out.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 5. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches.
Jump up to verse 4.
Verse 4. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches.
Because they understand, like Ak was bringing out, they paid scholars millions of dollars to research this Bible, man. It says by their wisdom and by their understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches. America prints money. It's the most powerful nation on the face of the earth. When they going into these other countries, don't think that they just destroying them. They are robbing those countries too. Don't be not deceived at that. Read on up.
Thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasure.
Into thy what?
Into thy treasure.
Like we said, we brought out, what is it, Fort Knox, full of gold, man. No one has a stash like America, man. They talking about the deficit, but guess what? America prints money, man. We got to come up out of that, man. That is all a facade to keep our people lost in the sauce, man. Read on now.
Verse 5. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic.
By thy what?
By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic.
That traffic translate into trade because America trades with all the nations amongst the earth. That's why they become rich. They sell their cars. They put McDonald's over there in China. You know, all these different things America trade with all the other nations with that increase their wealth. Read on up.
By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches. And thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
Because of thy what?
Because of thy riches.
Because they are such a superpower and such rich. Guess what? Thy heart has been lifted up. Pride is really on them. Don't they always say American pride? But guess what? The Most High is gonna break that pride, man.
Yeah, and America give all the other countries much pride too, because a lot of other countries, guess what they do? When they bring the McDonald's and the Taco Bells over to their country, guess what? They advertise it like, oh, America's gonna do this so much good thing for us. You just don't know America's feeding you some garbage.
Exactly. Because we're gonna get that too, showing that where if you're not on their league, guess what, man? They will ostracize you. Give me that in First Maccabees chapter 8 and 4. Because we showing you through the scriptures that guess what? These are the same race of people, the same nation of people. They have the same characteristics and the same policies. Those policies goes into the laws that they pass in everybody's country.
First Maccabees chapter 8 and 4. And that by their policy.
Now jump up. We're gonna read jump up to verse 1.
First Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans.
This is going into our brother after he was battling with the Greeks. Now the Romans came up on the scene. That's why the Romans took over the Greeks and they merged together, and it's called the Roman Greco Empire. Let you know that they're the same people, man. Read on up.
They were mighty and valiant men.
Because guess what? They were a nation of fierce countenance, man, a nation of war. Read on.
And such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them.
And read that again, because don't that sound familiar? Read that again.
And such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them.
Because they people in East India, oh, I'm an American. No, you're an East Indian. I mean, you have citizenship in America, but your nationality is East Indian. Just like our people today, man. Our people love calling themselves Americans. Man, this is stolen property, man. They force these names on us. So how can we be Americans? You know, it makes no sense when you really think and get the understanding. Read on up.
and make a league of amity with all that came unto them.
Make a league of amity is going into friendship. Read on up.
And that they were men of great value.
Uh-huh.
It was told him also of their wars and noble acts which they had done among the Galatians,
Uh-huh.
and how they had conquered them.
And how they had did what?
And how they had conquered them.
Because Galatia is in Greece, and they conquered them. And guess what? We was a part of the Galatians. We were some of the people that they was conquering too. Because when Rome conquered people, guess what? They would assimilate those people that they conquered into their own nation. Similar to what America does, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it did have everybody want to join their army, man. Read on up.
And brought them under tribute.
And brought them under what?
And brought them under tribute.
Because with America, guess what? A lot of times when they want help, America gonna want something in return. They gonna want you to put in their policies that they implement. If you don't do what America say, guess what? You get no money from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's going on in Africa. You know they trying to push homosexual laws, but guess what? Africa like, no, we're not doing it. America like, if you don't do that, y'all gonna starve out. Guess what? They put them laws up in there, man. You know, a lot of times they trying to fight that stuff, but guess what? America influence is strong amongst the world, man. You got some?
Yeah, and that tribute going to after they put their policy, guess what? They gonna tax your money. They need their taxes from you.
Need that.
That's exactly right.
They really need it. They want it.
They want it. Exactly.
Right.
That's why they let you. I'm gonna let you borrow all that money.
Yeah.
Now, I know you need it. Yeah. But just pay it back threefold.
They're gonna put unspeakable interest on that, boy.
You'll never be able to get out there.
Jump down to verse 4.
Verse 4. And that by their policy.
And by their what?
And that by their policy.
Their policy, their laws, their articles. Read on up.
And patience.
And what?
And patience.
Guess what? This is a very patient nation, man. They will sit and lurk until the time is right, man. And spring on you, man. Read on up.
They have conquered all the place.
They did what?
They have conquered all the place.
Guess what? They done conquered the whole planet Earth, man. Vatican City influence is not like America's, man. Read on up.
Though it were very far from them.
Read that again up.
Though it were very far from them.
Because how does America conquer lands that's on the other side of the planet, man? Because guess what? Like I brought out a few months ago, no one has more battleships than America, man. Russia maybe has 2. China have 1. Guess what? America have over 20 or 30 battleships, man.
That's right.
I'm talking about they in all the seas, man. Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, Indian Ocean, man. They are everywhere in the China seas, man.
And you got to understand, these battleships are billion-dollar battleships.
Exactly.
These is not just like a regular old $10 million yacht or a $100,000 yacht. These battleships can fly in. You can fly planes and everything.
Everything's like a floating city.
Yeah, set up everything.
Yeah, aircraft carriers, all this thing.
They got. Then guess what? And when they take those ships out there to the sea, guess what? Those ships ain't coming back. They going. Then when they going, it's gonna be their destination till it's time to their purpose be fulfilled.
Now tell me, how many aircraft carriers do the Vatican have? They maybe have 20 yachts up in their country, man. Then we talking about floating cities, man. This is no joke right here, man. Yeah. Read on.
And they nuclearized.
Yeah, exactly.
They got more nukes than we got on land. They got them right there on the sea. That way, while you up there thinking they're going to come from America, they're going to be right there by you. They submarines right there doing the same thing.
Right.
Read verse 4 from the top again.
Verse 4. And that by their policy and patience they had conquered all the place. Though it were very far from them.
Though they be on the other side of the land, guess what? America influence reaches there. Read on up.
And the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth.
From the what? Because guess what? It'll be nations that try to fight back, but guess what? They do not succeed, man. You know what happened to our brother Noriega? These what Bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, man. Most you exact fight if you want, man.
They do that right now to, like I said, to Venezuela. It's happening right now to Venezuela. Venezuela was one of the richest countries down there in that part of the world, in Central America right there. They were some old proud people. I remember when I used to speak to them, they looked at everybody else around the Guatemalans, Mexicans, Honduras, they looked at them as nobodies. And they was like that. But then all of a sudden, like I said, then when they started going to get some of American policies, all of a sudden America put sanctions on them.
Yep.
and then tied their money up that they had in their own bank account, cut them from getting their own money.
Exactly.
And then blame it on them.
Because America controls or has a government, what you call the IMF, International Monetary Funds, to where they control the money. We do not see the Vatican City controlling money, man. If you don't do what America say, guess what? They will stop your bank account, man. Now that is some power for you, man. I'm way over here in the Middle East, and you stopping my money flow from over here where y'all at North America.
There's been a lot of them.
Exactly.
A lot of them. I remember this dude was doing an interview on PBS, and he was telling the people, they was like, nah, they hadn't did anything in my bank account. And they walked to an ATM machine, and immediately he stuck his thing in there. All his accounts were blocked. Frozen. And this is a man with I mean, multi-billions of dollars. And all of a sudden, man, he shut the interview down like, wait a minute. He was trying to act cool about it, but then he was like, this over with. I got to go figure out what the hell they done did, because he was surprised.
And a lot of them that do that, when they lose money like that, you see them on top of the Empire State Building. Because what jump?
Because what do you think happened to Gaddafi, man? And Gaddafi was trying to implement gold as being the monetary funds on the planet again. But guess what? America like, no, Negro, no Hamite. Because guess what? They can offset this American dollar, because the dollar is not worth anything.
So, go ahead. No, Saddam Hussein did the same thing. Coming with gold. Oh, wait a minute. Everything's supposed to be backed by. If you go look at an old dollar bill, it says on there, this is backed by gold. Now it say this note is legal tender. They just saying, man, this is some paper money.
That's it.
We got to believe in what it is. But the thing about it, when they come with gold, meaning you got to have some gold to substantiate what that dollar is.
Exactly.
You know, now that's what they like. Don't do that.
Every nation,
because then that's giving you power over the money with the money. Like now, I got gold, and I mess around and get too much of this. I control the United States, and they like, no.
That's exactly right.
Go ahead. That's why I just said they don't went to war with every country and nation that tried to drop the value of the U.S. dollar. Every time you try to do that, guess what? You're going to war.
That's exactly right.
For war.
Petrodollar. That's why they're coming to war now. When you see these bombs coming around, it's all because of that. The petrodollars they're going out. Now China's saying, hold on, you know what? We ain't gonna pay with your money now. We're gonna pay with this. Now you finna see the battle go up, because one thing they do now, well, hold on. That's a big country. We got nukes and you can't do nothing. We got money in our bank, so you can't do nothing. So that's when the war is about to jump off. That's what's going on now.
Jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. Moreover, how the Grecians had determined to come and destroy them.
So this is going into the Greeks fighting against the Romans. They was thinking they was going to overtake them, but Rome had another thing for them. Read on up.
And that they, having knowledge thereof, sent against them a certain captain, and fighting with them slew many of them, and carried away captives their wives and their children, and spoiled them, and took possession of their lands, and pulled down their strongholds, and brought them to their servants unto this day.
Unto this what?
Unto this day.
Because when they couldn't defeat Rome, they merged together. These are the same race of people. Just because they separate themselves, be not deceived, people. They are the same race of people, man.
Right.
They merged into the Greco-Roman Empire today, or the Idumeans today. And all that goes back to that. Go ahead.
They will kill each other.
Yeah.
They don't care about it. We'll take all them out if we can just keep our race over here with this little bit. They don't. That's a facade too. We think, see, they can't be them and that. That's why, they fight Germany or Germans, like the Germans killing the Jews. Same people. They just doing it because they get mad with each other and they'll take them out. That's just how wicked they are. Right. They were created to be wicked. They don't care about themselves or nothing else. They just want to be wicked, whether it be killing Israelites or anybody else, as long as they can keep control of everything.
Exactly. Read on up.
Verse 11. It was told him besides how they destroyed and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms,
like America does today. Read on up.
And isles that are that at any time resisted.
That isles is going into islands. Read on up. Because guess what? America, Hawaii, all that. Why do you think they made them a part of the United States? Alaska, way up there. All these different type of islands is under the control of America. Read on up.
But with their friends and such as relied upon them.
Read that again.
But with their friends and such as relied upon them, they kept an enmity.
friendship. So if you on the same team as America, guess what? They'll fight wholeheartedly for you. Like, guess what? Israel. How many billions of dollars do they give that country each year to keep us not knowing who we are according to the Bible, to keep all those, that archaeology and artifacts that they find over there a secret, man. They in league with America, man, to destroy us, mainly coming after the Israelites. Read on now.
And that they have conquered kingdoms, both far and nigh, and so much as all that heard of their name were afraid of them. Were afraid of them.
Because guess what? During Rome's time, guess what? They was conquering too, just like this place is today. When they heard Rome, boy, they was, hey, pack your bags and head for the hills, man. It's time to go, man. Just like what they do in America. Oh, hell, America coming, man. Do what we can, man. Because they know it's going to be a little while, but they know that military is just too powerful for them.
And how they make them scared, they the only people in the history of the world that has dropped the nuclear weapon.
Exactly.
Nobody else has ever done that on nobody. So it's always in the back of every nation's mind. Even though a career, like, we talking about it, but them, they done already did
they
it.
about that life. America about that life.
They did it. They
Think about Friday. Debo coming. Who?
Hey.
Debo.
Yeah.
America.
Guess what? That brother said, I'm just going to tuck that country. I'm just going to tuck mine in.
Hey.
Got it took.
Yeah.
Got it took.
Read on now.
Verse 13. Also, that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reign.
Read that again now.
Also, that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reign.
Saddam Hussein.
Also, that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reign.
Noriega.
Also, that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reign.
Because guess what? They help people to reign in their kingdoms if they put their policies up in there. But guess what? The first time you go against them, they will kill your behind. Ask Gaddafi. Ask Saddam Hussein.
Read that next line, and then I want to say something.
And bring it out. And whom again they displace.
Now look, Venezuela.
Yep.
By a democratic society system, they got a president. The way United States get its president, United States don't like his policies. United States now is going against their democracy to go in and say, nuh-uh, we want him as president.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going, what kind? That's how wicked these people are. They telling you this how we're supposed to do it. We're gonna go and meddle in your affairs. And they the one brought democracy to Venezuela.
Exactly.
And now they're going against democracy just to displace him. We're going to replace him. I don't like him. That's what they do. They going to replace you. Like he was talking about Noriega. They're going to replace you.
Exactly.
Saddam Hussein. We're going to replace you. We don't like what you do. That's what's happening in Syria today.
Exactly.
Man, look at it. I'm gonna break it down even smaller than it. It's even at our jobs.
Yep.
Check this out. Working for a job. Look, I was a supervisor. I taught 3 of the managers that came in. Guess what? Every time the manager did their own way, they got fired. They sent the big boss down there. And they said, hey, we finna bring in another manager, this and that. I said, bring in another manager. I said, look here, man. I taught all these people your job, man. I said, man, why don't you give me an opportunity? He said, well, I'm gonna tell you something. If you pay for a $30 car wash, that's what you're gonna be getting. But if you pay for a $10 car wash, then that's what you're gonna be getting. I said, I understand that, sir. But the $10 car wash teaches the $30 car wash to wash your car. Who needed to get the $30? Guess what? The Edomite heard me talking like that. Guess what happened?
Fire.
Next day.
Get him out of here.
Get him up out of here.
Get that brother out of here.
If you don't do exactly how they tell you to do it, look here, you got to go.
Exactly.
You got to go, man.
Now we see why. Guess what? Why do you think they took out the Apocrypha in the Bible, man? This is outlining them to a T. Letting you know their characteristics. We gonna read some more. Read on. Huh?
Also, verse 13 again. Also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reign. And whom again they displace.
So if you didn't agree with their policies, guess what? They will put embargoes on you. Ask North Korea, man. Guess what? That nation over there is decimated, man. 40% poverty over there, man. Because guess what? They don't want to stop making nuclear weapons, man. But could you go against that? They want to have some weapons to protect them, man. You know, read on.
Finally, that they were greatly exalted.
Read that again.
Finally, that they were greatly exalted.
Bringing it up to today, is not America greatly exalted? During Rome's time, they was greatly exalted, man. playing no games. Read on.
Verse 14. Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown.
Now I want to see if people catch this. Read that again.
Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown, or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby.
Verse 15 backs up that point. Let me read this. Go ahead.
Moreover, how they had made for themselves a Senate house.
Because on America, guess what? They have a Senate house today, man. The same characteristics. Read on.
Wherein 320 men sat in council daily.
Read that again.
Wherein 320 men sat in council daily.
Now today, America has 7 senates, 2 for each month, so to speak. I mean, 100 senates. Read on up.
Consulting always for the people, to the end they might be well ordered.
To the end that they might be what?
Well ordered.
Read on up.
And that they committed their government to one man every year.
Now, what does that sound like, man? That sounds like a president, man. Not 1 year, but America does it 4 years, man. Read on now. Go ahead.
No, see, that's one reason they took this apocrypha out.
Exactly.
Not only that, because you got to understand, back when the prophecy was prophesying this, they didn't, when they were seeing those visions, they couldn't explain in their words how things were going. Now, as we got into when the Maccabees there, when they were there, the Greeks and Romans was now in the modern times and newer times, and language was more clear from what we speak now at this time. So when that came out, they were like, man, take that part out the Bible. Because if they read that, and the prophet is straightforward with a lot of stuff. There ain't a lot of you just got to go around. It goes right to the point. And then when you read it, you see it easy, like, wait a minute. But you got to read it and study it. But that's why they was like, man, we got to take that out.
Exactly,
we got to take the apocrypha up out of the Bible. We can explain that off by telling them, hey, that's uninspired. You know, we'll make up anything.
Read
but
verse
this
16
is why.
again.
Verse 16. And that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one.
Because a lot of times people get caught up in Obama, man. Guess what? They put him in that office, man. Right. They groomed him from a young man all the way up because they seen how the times was coming. Hey, let's give these so-called Negroes a face that look like them, not even knowing he's not our nationality, so it can keep us more docile. And it put us right back to sleep a little bit, man.
Yeah, and during the Republic of America, when they first came, when the United States, before they was the United States, they had a different government every year. They were voting in one every year. That's when what's his name? Black guy,
John Hanson.
John Hanson. When he was the first one, and then the next year he was already gone. You know, and they had what, eight at that time.
7 or 8.
7 or 8 of them.
Man, yeah, and like I was saying about Obama, man, they put Obama in that spot, and then guess what? Obama went against the Bible in every kind of way, every facet.
Supposed to have been a so-called Christian, man, but they used him to push them homosexual laws up in there, man.
And that's why he popped out of nowhere. You like, I remember I heard him on the radio. They were saying, yes, a black dude in Chicago so be running for president or something. He state senate. Yeah, I'm thinking next thing you know, all right, he'll stay senate. And now next thing I know, they
the president.
blew up all on the news. I'm going, who is this dude that's popped out of nowhere? Now I remember this guy tell me at work, yeah, I've been on a man, dude, if you don't stop. Just stop.
Read verse 16 all the way through.
Verse 16. And that they committed their government to one man every year,
a president, read on,
who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them.
But now, guess what? The Most High is bringing that envy up now, man. He's using them to start come against each other, man. And we're seeing it unfold today. We're going to keep going through the scriptures. Let's go back to Revelation. We just have to bring that point out to show you that they got the same characteristics today because they are the same.
Yeah, and when they do go against the system, because you had 2 of them that wasn't Freemasons, they got assassinated as president. The other one that went against the Freemasons, the government of the United States, was, in fact, he died right here in Dallas, right there. They blew his head off in public, because when he went to the Vatican And they was asking him, are you going to go by America's Constitution or are you going to go by this maritime law? And guess when he denied that, I'm finna stop all this stuff. No,
okay. You're not.
And they ain't wait till you get, they ain't hit him at his house. They want you, we're going to wait till you out in public.
Yeah,
Exactly. Everybody can see,
example and show
don't
you.
play with us.
Yeah. And like I said, man, Obama, our so-called blacks think it helped us, but it's really hindered us, man. Yeah. Because it made you think that. I heard so many people say, oh, yeah, man, you can't say that we slave. We ain't doing, we done made so many steps. We got a black president. Like we don't, y'all don't even know this man. It's not our people. Man.
Exactly, man.
It's just a facing that'll put you and think that we doing something.
That's why they did it. They knew.
Yeah, they knew
he wasn't our people, but they even knew he wasn't our people.
Yeah,
they knew that. Hey, but as long as he black, they're the
Man, look,
they run out.
I pull up to my stop yesterday. You got all these men probably about in their 40s and 50s. Number Jakes out there, man. You know, Issachar and Judah. They working their butt off, man. And you see Esau right here.
Yep.
I said, boy, if this ain't slavery, man, what is? He's sitting around here, he doing pointing fingers, and everybody running everywhere. All the Jakes and all the Issachars, Judah running everywhere, and he's sitting around puffing a cigarette. I said, this is slavery.
That's exactly what it is, man. Let's go back to Revelation 17:5, man.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylonian the Great.
Now read that again.
Mystery Babylon.
Hey, they got the same characteristics. Read that over.
And upon her forehead was name written, Mystery Babylon the Great.
Now, why do we think it is called Mystery Babylon? Can anybody take a guess? Why do we think it's called? Go ahead, Julia. Why do you think it's called mystery? Because what is a mystery? Go ahead, Julia. A secret, but you want to explain it within the context of the scripture. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because they deceived us.
Yeah, they did deceive us. And that's a good point. We say, they saying mystery Babylon because nobody would ever think that America is this great whore that the Bible is talking about. We would never think that the greatest nation on the planet Earth is the most wickedest planet on the planet Earth. Because guess what? Give me Deuteronomy 28:48.
Because they think, we free in America. You can do what you want to do. That's one of the reasons you got a problem, because you can do what you want to do. And y'all do all the wickedness you can.
Make sure you do some wicked.
Make up new ones.
Like we tell people, the Bible is not a democracy. You cannot do what you want to do, man, according to God's laws, man. Read this. This is why people don't believe that America is Babylon the Great. Read that out.
Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shall thy serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst.
That enemy is the same in Revelation 17:5. That enemy, that serpent. Read on up. Start over from the top. Yeah.
Therefore shall thy serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
So we will never believe that America is this mystery Babylon, because guess what? They feed us. Read on.
And in thirst.
And they guess what? They give us water, even though we have to pay for it. Read on up.
And in nakedness.
And then they clothe us. Read on up.
And in want of all things.
Because guess what? When we want education, who do we go to? America. We want to bury the dead. Who do we go to? America. You want religion. Where do you go? America. They give us all these things that nourishes us. And we cannot possibly in our deepest mind think that this is talking about mystery Babylon. That's why I said that it's a mystery to the whole earth, man. That's why you got people thinking the Vatican City, man, they're not doing nothing for nobody. Yes, they have a lot of artifacts over there. Guess what? I'm pretty sure they holding it for America, man. You know, but America gives us all these things. That's why we could never find out who this mystery Babylon is.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, they build the same buildings and temples. They give you, look at, but guess what? We don't see the signs. Yeah, because guess what? It's gonna stay a mystery to us when you don't see the signs. You know?
I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the points too. The architecture. Guess what? You see the capital of America, same as Rome, man. You see where the Supreme Justice be at, man. All those things are the same architecture as Rome. And then we take it back even further. When you go to Mount Seir over there in where it is in Saudi Arabia, because That's where Esau dwelt first. Then we pushed them to the Caucasus Mountain. They didn't always dwell in the Caucasus Mountain of Georgia, Russia. You know, when you look, Google Mount Syria, it has the same architectural structure that Rome has, that America has.
Back even all the way back into Egypt. It's
Yeah.
the same,
Yeah, that
same
too.
spirit.
And the reason why I pointed it out, Maccabees sent something to me, you know. If anybody know, I'm from Arkansas. And he sent something to me that was in Arkansas that people don't realize that's in front of the Capitol building. Do y'all see this?
Yeah.
I would.
That is finest,
If
man.
y'all can see that on the camera, can you see that on the camera good?
No.
I'll put that
Yeah,
good.
pass that around.
You see that on the camera? I want them to.
Yeah,
You see that on the camera good? This is in Arkansas, man, in front of the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right out there in front of the building.
They got
And
it in
once
Denver Airport.
And in one state,
Yeah, Denver.
They got it in
That's
Denver
world.
Airport.
That's the world airport.
Man.
and you know what? That they show you the characteristics, man,
But our people
all
don't believe it.
around. But they don't believe it. But it's out there. It is a mystery. Well, guess what? Who can unlock the mystery?
Yeah.
We unlocking the mystery right in front of the
Exactly.
world, man.
All right, that's exactly right.
Let's see, man.
Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7.
That's why they come and tell it people when they always saying
Start at verse
a lot of people are ignorant. We don't know nothing because they know when we come out with this, they can say, you know, they don't know what they're talking about. They're ignorant. That's why they use that propaganda for years after years after years as of this day. Because when we bring it out, especially us on the streets, the first time when they be saying that when we on the streets, the first thing they tell you, they hear them say is, y'all guys should be at work. What makes you think we don't work?
Exactly.
We might not just be out. Y'all guys ain't never been to no, y'all, neither one of y'all got a degree. I got a degree, he got a degree. We ain't out here to be flaunting our degrees, but
Exactly.
the fact of the matter is, they that was propaganda used, so because they knew sooner or later, even with the list letters knew, sooner or later they're gonna wake up.
Right.
Sooner or later, somebody gonna get out and be teaching this stuff for real. So we gotta make, the discredit them. What does they call it? The defamation of your character.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what they doing to us. So when they hear us on the street, they be like, that's them dumb.
Because guess what? It goes back to Revelations that accuses their brother night and day. We the bad guys. We the evil ones. We don't know nothing. When it's really them. And this is what 2 Thessalonians is explaining to. Read that out from verse 3. 2 and 3.
Book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
Read that again.
Let no man deceive you by any means.
By any means. That's going into religions, doctrines of devils, all these different type of things. The Bible says, let no man deceive you. Because guess what? Our people have been hoodwinked in this nation. Read on up.
For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
That falling away first is the Israelites had to go into captivity first, man. Read on up.
And that man of sin be revealed.
Because when we went into captivity, we knew who our enemy was, man. The people that we call our so-called friends today, man. But you go back to that history, not just 100 years ago. You tell, would friends ever do this to friends? 100 years of lynching, castrate men, separating mothers and families, man, selling our children into slavery. Read on up.
The son of perdition.
The son of who?
The son of perdition.
The son of damnation, because that's what's on their breath. You know, they was made to be destroyed, going back to what King David prophesied, who ought to be destroyed. Read on up.
Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God.
Because when you go in the capital cities, you see all the paintings and the images are in their image. God is a so-called white man. The angels are white. Jesus is white. They opposing everything that the Most High said in this Bible is not true. Because in the Bible, it tells us that the angels are black, that Christ is black, that the Most High himself is a man of color.
That's why Brother Job, in chapter 9, he prophesied that the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges, man.
And we are the judges.
And that goes back to what I was telling you about when they let that HARP information get out. They want y'all to believe, see, you know, say they control the weather. They want that because they want to exalt themselves as a god.
Exactly.
That's what I said. For some highly secret, we got this super duper machine that we can do this. I mean, right now, there's some stuff you don't know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's out. How did it get out? It was made to get out because they got to show themselves as God. So you would think that, man, they run anything, they do anything. That's why the TV show you, no matter what crime you do, you're getting caught. Because they don't never show you the unsolved. And they got a lot of unsolved. Like in Chicago, they ain't solved none of them murders because they the ones committing half of them. So the thing about it is they make it seem like, but when you watch their TV shows, you got you scared to do anything. You be like, man, you be like, dang, I gotta bleach the whole house in order to get out the crime scene, and then they'll find a little tiny piece of dirt. Say, you did. It was him. He came here at 17.
That's right.
You be like, man, and that's why they do that.
It's all propaganda to show they power. Because
exactly.
What Negro in here grew up, Israelite, grew up and wasn't scared of unsolved mysteries, man. You sit there and watch that TV, it's dark and that, man. Everything now, you jump and look at what.
Make you think you done did the crime.
For real.
You ain't got a ticket.
They put a fear on you since a child. That's how they done us, man. They put fear tactics all around us, man.
And those are the unsolved mysteries. They talking about, and they have you believing that they unsolved, but we finna solve them in a minute, you know. Right. Don't worry about it. We got you. And then whoever did it, we coming for you. That's what they trying to let you like, we got you. But they don't. They make themselves, they're exalting themselves as a God. They want you to see them as, you can't get nothing by us.
Read verse 4 again.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worship.
Or that is worship, because we don't see no East Indian image of Jesus Christ, no Chinese image of Jesus Christ. Read on up.
So that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God,
sitteth in the church of God. Read on up.
Showing himself that he is God.
Because what do you think all those churches is for? That big old image of Cesare Borgia, man, and our people flock to that in droves, man.
And what's funny when you was talking about the Vatican. The Vatican and the Pope, they sit down and worship those black, all them black, the baby Jesus black, the Yahweh Shah pictures of black. I'm like, but they don't. Why won't they show the world that this is what they worship? They won't. They won't, because it ain't. The Vatican ain't controlling nothing. Because the United States, when you think the United States, when they put that on the news, would have told them, man, take that down. Man, I didn't take that down.
Yeah, and guess what? I wish China, the United States, wish China would put a Chinese Jesus up there. They gonna have a problem with you, brother.
Read that verse 7 right quick.
Verse 7. Go ahead. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
Because it goes back to Revelation 17 and 5, man. That is a mystery that our people cannot seem to figure out, man. Though they see it through their history, through what they perpetuate today, but they still can't put the pieces together, man. Read on up.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let.
Read that again, now.
Only he who now letteth will let.
Because guess what? The Most High is outlining you to this people to a T, man. You need to let it just flow, man. Keep the commandments, turn back to your nationality, man. You will see these things much, much clearer. Read on up.
Until he be taken out of the way.
And that's a lot of times people ain't going to understand until he be taken away, until our Lord, to the Most High, send Yahweh Shah and destroy this nation.
Real.
Then they going to understand, man, what we was out there prophesying about. Read verse 8 up.
Verse 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed.
Read that again.
And then shall the wicked be revealed.
Then shall that wicked be revealed, man. A capital wicked, man.
Right.
Let you know that this wicked is giving emphasis, man. It is a nation of wicked men on the face of the planet, man. Let's get that precept right quick. I didn't even have it, but you know we got to bring it out, man. Give me Malachi chapter 1, verse 6. Because our people that's in Christianity, they can't fathom that God will create good and evil, man. But you see evil all in the earth today, man. You see a nation of evil that is unlike any other evil, man. And our people just do not want to admit it. That comes from Stockholm syndrome.
Right.
Jump down, Malachi 1 and 4, Salaki.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished.
Because they was impoverished in the dark ages, because during the time of Genesis, they were the dukes of the earth. They were very wealthy. So we impoverished them in 193 AD. And then they came back up into power in 14 53 in the what do you call so-called in the Renaissance era, Shalakia. Read on up.
Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down.
Let you know God is a black man. He say he gonna throw down, man. Read on.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
Read that again up.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
They are called, the Edomites are called the border of wickedness. They are the beginning and the ending of wickedness, man. Just go back just a little in history, man. Ain't nobody committed atrocities like this nation of people, man. But all of a sudden, when we asked them about them, the wickedness that they did, they got their blinders on like Ray Charles. They can't see nothing, man. Read on, huh?
And the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever.
No, the man Esau only.
And the people.
And the people, the Edomites. Read on up.
Against whom the Lord had indignation forever.
The word indignation means a righteous, great hatred, man.
Wow.
Forever, man. Let's go back. So that's what we doing. We're revealing who this wicked is, this wicked nation is. Read verse 8 again in 2 Thessalonians.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
Because guess what? Like we say, it goes back to Zechariah 4 and 6. This is not a physical or a corner battle. Guess what? The Most High is taking them down just by the understanding of the scriptures, man. And it's driving these people crazy, man. We hearing every day how a lot of Israelites is waking up and leaving these Christianity churches, and they hurting the church's money, man. They say it's gonna come a time. That's why we tell brothers, sharpen your sword, because guess what? Esau is gonna send the coons after us first, but then it's gonna come a time where he gonna come out to the streets and try to deal with us. And guess what? This Bible is gonna consume them, man.
Get ripped off the bone.
He already sent the coons out. Like I said, TD Snakes done had his little
conference
with all of the pastors to how to, and then you can look on YouTube now. They got Christian coons sitting up there, and the Christians, and they how to debunk the Israelites.
Yeah, exactly.
And all kind of little stuff. You like, then you go in there, you be like, I didn't prove not one thing.
Exactly.
And you got to beware of these brothers out here teaching that's calling themselves Israelites. And the brothers that's calling themselves Israelites, guess what they teach? Christianity.
Exactly.
Beware of those brothers, because I've been watching them brothers here lately. And I said, them brothers, guess what? Y'all slick.
Wolves in sheep clothing. It's gonna be amongst all people too, man. We know he was talking about the pastors in a general aspect, but guess what? There's gonna be some brothers crept in unawares too. Timothy, them, they warned us. Jude, they warned us about that.
Christ did too.
Read that verse 8 again up.
Verse 8, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And then shall that wicked be revealed,
the Edomites,
whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth,
with this Bible,
and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Because when the Most High sent Christ and he cracked that sky, boy, it's gonna be on and popping in, boy. That's gonna be some brightness, glorious wonder to behold. And guess what? All people is gonna see that thing, man. Let's go back to Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 6.
Revelation 17 and 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints.
Now we know the saints are the Israelites, according to Psalms 148 and verse 14. Read on up.
And with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus.
Now that's two parts to that, because a lot of times Christians will try to catch you up. Brothers got to beware when we out there on the streets. The martyrs, when did the martyrs of Christ die? Did they die in America? No, they died in the time of Rome. But the saints, guess what? The saints encompass all us. We died over here, and they let you know that America and Rome are the same people. Give me Acts chapter 12 and verse 1. Because what do they do to the martyrs of Jesus Christ? That martyrs is going into his disciples. A martyr is someone that dies a horrible death for a great cause, or something that they truly believed in. And the apostles, they died horrible deaths. Peter was crucified upside down. James, John, they lost their lives. Read this out.
Acts chapter 12, verse 1. Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church.
Read that again.
Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church.
Now, Herod was a Edomite convert. He was converted into keeping our laws during the harmonious dynasty. During when the Maccabees was taking over them, guess what? They had to submit up under our laws, and then he just ran with it. He is not an Israelite. He is an Edomite that wanted to keep the laws of the Israelites. Read that from the top again, up.
Verse 12, chapter 12, verse 1. Now, about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church
of the Israelites. Read on up.
And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword.
He killed brother who? Read that again. Up.
And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword.
Now, that's just one account, but it's many other accounts where they were made martyrs and killed because they was following Christ. You know, and that's what that martyrs is going into in verse 6. Let's go back to Revelations.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints.
Because they put us to death even over here. Like we said in 1492 when they came over here, Christopher killing Columbus. He put the Native American Indians to death, man. Killed and slaughtered millions of them, man. Those were the saints too. Read on up.
And with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus.
The disciples of Christ. Read on up.
And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
Read on up.
And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel?
He said, why are you marveling? Read on up.
I will tell thee the mystery of the woman.
So this archangel was going to tell him the mystery of this woman. Read on up.
And of the beast that carried her.
And that beast that carried her. Read on up.
Which had the 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now we know it's the 7 Edomite empires and the 10 common markets that's carrying this beast, which is America. Read on up.
Verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not.
Read that again.
The beast that thou sawest was and is not.
So the archangel's telling John, he's telling you the beast that thou sawest was in your dream and is not currently in existence, because America was not existing during the time of the Romans. The Romans were. Read on up.
The beast that thou sawest was and is not.
It is not currently in existence. Read on up.
And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
Going back into Rome, because we decimated them in 193 by the hand of a man named Septimius Severus. They went into the bottomless pit doing in the dark ages. Read on up.
And go into perdition.
And then when you get out of that bottomless pit, they was going to go into perdition, which means damnation. When Rome came up out of that in the Renaissance area, then branched off and then became America, that's when the Most High was going to start to take them down. And we're going to go through that on the scriptures. Read on now.
And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of the life, and in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
Going back, they have always had a reputation of being nothing. They names is not in the book of life. They gonna do 1,000 years in captivity, then the Most High is gonna blot out their name for forever, man. That is the book of life. Read on up. You got some up?
No, good.
Read on up.
When they behold the beast that was
in your vision that I gave you. Read on up.
And is not
currently existing. Read on.
And yet is.
And yet is. Does anybody know what that means? And yet is.
Still gonna come to pass.
It means and yet is of those people. Letting you know, that's why we went to 1 Maccabees 8 and 4, letting you know that the Romans, the Greeks, and now America are all the same people. The 7 heads, the 10 common markets, all those people are yet is those same race of people.
It's basically saying the same as can the Ethiopian change his color, man.
Exactly. Even though they hide and divide themselves amongst kingdoms, guess what? They are all one nation of people. Because out of Esau sprang what? Greece, Rome. Then we're gonna go to Great Britain. I didn't want to give it away. Then America. Read on up.
Verse 9. And here is the mind which had wisdom.
Which had what?
And here is the mind which had wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains.
So it's letting you know those 7 heads are 7 mountains, 7 empires or 7 kingdoms. Because that's what mountains represents in the Bible. Read on up.
On which the woman sits.
So this woman is sitting on top of them. She's the head woman in charge. Read on up.
And there are 7 kings.
And there are what?
7 kings.
Read on up.
5 are fallen.
Hold up. Now we want to go through this slowly. Read verse 10 again.
And there are 7 kings.
So we understood who those 7 kings was, those 7 empires. Read on.
5 are fallen.
5 are fallen. Which are the kingdoms? Which 5 was fallen? Does anybody know? You know? No. Read on. We're going to get a little bit more. 5 are fallen and what?
And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen and 1 is.
And 1 is. So we know the one that is what? In John's time was what? Rome. So what is the other 5? We got Greece, Spain, France, Russia, and Germany. But those names, what we know that those wasn't the names of those countries in the 1st century. You know, the names of Greece in the 1st century. That's why when you look this up on Google, look up 1st century names of these people. Greece was called Achaia. Germany was called Magna Germana. Spain was called Hispania. France was called Gaul, and Russia was called Scythia. That's where you get that in the Bible. There is no barbarian or Scythian. You know, those were, a lot of us were in during that time from the Dark Ages, but that's what Russia was called in the 1st century. So those 5 kingdoms was fallen. Read that verse, read verse 10 again.
And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen.
What we just named.
And 1 is.
The 1 is Rome. Read on up.
And the other is not yet come.
And the other is not yet come. Now it was 7 in all, and we named 6. What is the last one that we left off? Is anybody following along? That last one that is talking about here is Great Britain. That is that last one that is. Read that again up.
And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is. And the other is not yet come.
And the other one is not yet come, Great Britain. Read on up.
And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
Because when Great Britain stepped up on the scene, guess what? They ruled for a little bit of time. That's what that short space is going into. Read verse 11 up.
Verse 11. And the beast that was and is not.
The beast that was in your vision and is not currently existing. Read on up.
Even he is the 8th.
Even that beast is the 8th. Read on up.
And is of the 7th.
And is of the 7th. Now we know that the 7th was Great Britain. Now what kingdom sprang out of Great Britain? Does anybody know? Who knows history? What kingdom sprang out of Great Britain?
Spain?
England?
No. Does anybody know about the 17? What happened in 1776, July 4th? Say it again. From who?
Who was that that did that?
Say it again. Who? He just said that. What is what
the king name? The Declaration of Independence.
What is that about? Let us simplify for us. Who won independence from Great Britain? America. That's what that's going into. Read that again.
Verse 11. And the beast that was
in your vision
and is not
currently existing. Read on.
Even he is the 8th.
It's letting you know he is the 8th. Read on up.
And is of the 7th.
Now
that nation of people.
Think about it. They said the 8th wonder of the world.
Yeah.
they stick it in your face all the time.
And out of the 7th, out of Great Britain, came America in 1776. That's when America fought for the independence war from America. They wanted to be their own sovereign state. Y'all get that?
Yeah.
You get that? Read that again.
And 6 of those 7 had occupied the United States back in
they did too.
That's why we call it 6 flags. The 6 occupants in this land that touched this land.
Yep.
That was occupying this land at the same time. And just now, he of them.
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying. He up those 7. It's the same nation as those 7.
Read verse 11 again. I want to just make sure everybody got it, because this is showing you America basically verbatim if you understand the scriptures. Read that again up.
Revelation 17 and 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th,
America is the 8th beast. Read on up.
and is of the 7th,
And it's of the 7th. They sprang out of Great Britain. Read on up.
and goeth into perdition,
And did what? And gonna do what?
and goeth into perdition.
And guess what? When they sprang up out of Great Britain, guess what? The Most High said, they're gonna go into perdition. Perdition means damnation, man. Most High gonna destruction. Exactly. Most High gonna bring destruction upon America. Read on, huh?
Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings.
Or 10 what?
Are 10 kings.
Or 10 kings. That 10 kings is going into the EU, or the 10 common markets. Does anybody knows those names? I know this might be hard. I'm just going to give it to you. The 10 common markets of EU is Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Denmark, Ireland, United Kingdom, and Greece. Those are those 10 common markets. They came together because does anybody know what the EU is all about, really? What is it about? Give us a little brief breakdown.
It's about giving economic strength to Europe.
Exactly.
Building up the euro.
That's exactly right, man. But it's also something else. It's about economics, but it's also about what?
Protection from Russia? Or
what is used to make weapons?
money?
That, but we know money, but what is the 2 main ingredients? What you got, Junior? What you need to make weapons? Coal and steel. So we got to put that with it. It's economics and it's coal and steel industry because they share technology amongst each other. Because after World War II, they wanted to make war amongst them impossible because guess what? War devastates your country. Europe was towed down, man, after World War II. So this devil by the name of Robert Schuman came together and got all the Edomite empires together to say, hey, let's come together with trade and economics. Let's do and deal amongst each other. Let's build ourselves up and forget about the dark nation. That's why China wasn't included in this. Africa wasn't included in this. They wanted to, that's why it's named the European Union, you know.
And that's why those countries only fight melanated countries. They don't fight each other. They don't see them going to war with each other. They won't.
But guess what? The Most High is breaking those bands because now Greece, we see over the years, Greece, the euro in Greece is falling. You know, we seeing they getting mad. America, why y'all keep making all the money and our money, our dollar is not doing well? The Most High is going to break those ties. And we're going to read through the scriptures. He's going to use the EU to come against America.
The Great Britain's coming out too.
Who?
Great Britain.
Exactly. I'm glad you
the
said
Brexit,
that. That's what Brexit is all about. I'm
They
glad
just
you
held
brought
it
it up.
off again to October because they couldn't come up. I've been watching, keep an eye on.
Exactly.
Keep a big eye on all that type of stuff going on.
That's why we got to watch and pray, man. That's what Christ was letting us know, man. Watch the news because guess what? It's some informative stuff on there, man. A lot of stuff go over our people's head. That's what exactly. That's why you see the U.S. and Russia nuclear treaty. They didn't re-sign that again. That's us, the Most High, beginning to break those bands asunder. Read verse 12 again.
Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings.
Or 10 kings. That's the EU, and that was founded in March the 25th, 1957. Read on up.
Which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
They will receive kingdom, 1 power with the beast. Now, when you go back to what is that? 1 Peter's a day, as in 1,000 years. When you divide an hour, you know, in a day is 24 hours. 1,000 days divided by 24, and they give you like 41.6 years. And that's going into what that hour equals to. Read on up.
Verse 13. These have one mind.
And that's going into the EU. They have one mind to come together to share economics and to share their understanding of war, coal and steel industry, and also nuclear understanding too, nuclear technology. That's that one mind that they came together with, because even during the war, they didn't drop the bomb on Hitler when he was doing all the damage. What did they do? They dropped the bomb on Japan.
Yeah, no doubt. And the main war was with Germany.
Yeah, exactly. With Hitler. Exactly.
Yeah, man. Let's drop it on them. And what was their excuse was they was losing military, but Japan was losing 100,000 soldiers per day or per week, or however they went at it. The United States was losing 10,000. So you're not, but Japan wouldn't stop fighting. They were gonna
Mhm.
fight to the death like they do. So that's when, well, let's just bomb the whole. That's why they didn't bomb a military base, because Japan would have kept fighting.
Mhm.
Let's go bomb some innocent people.
Yeah, it's just, and like I brought out, they let them know that they knew where the power lied. You know, they knew America wasn't playing no games when they had that. They dropped the bomb, like I said, the Gap Band. No, they dropped the bomb on them, man. It wasn't no game. Read on,
These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
and shall give their power and their strength unto America, which is that eighth beast. Read on,
Verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb.
Those 10 come in market, and all of them shall make war with the Lamb. Now we know Christ is the Lamb. You know, they gonna make war with Christ, man. They gonna actually think that they can fight and go against Christ, and we gonna get that.
That's Independence Day. That's what they, the movie that you see.
Yeah,
Independence Day.
exactly.
Right.
What's the other one? I seen one where they like I was telling y'all about
Apocalypse, all this.
Mount Herman, where they were telling y'all on Mount Herman, they already got the UN sitting right at Mount Herman.
Yeah.
I said, well, they tripping. I mean, wouldn't stop the Idi Amin going against and killing all these people.
Yeah.
Let's just go back and chill on Mount Herman.
Read verse 14 again.
Verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them.
Guess what? Christ is gonna overcome them, man. We're gonna get a brief of that. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 5. Man, I love reading 2nd Ezra, boy. Especially this one right here, boy, where you kind of read, you kind of want to put yourself in that picture. This is how the Lamb or Christ or our Lord and Savior Yahushua is going to overcome them.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
So it's all nations gonna be there, but the main characters that's gonna be there is the 10 common markets, man. Because guess what? They are the world's superpower. They have the strongest military. So guess what? And they also have the most to lose. So we got to understand they're gonna be the main characters. Read on up.
Verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it.
So read that again.
But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it.
So guess what? Christ's gonna be flying upon mountains, man. Literally. Read on up.
But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not.
Read on up.
And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid.
Guess what? They're going to be so afraid. And it's going to take place in the land of Armageddon, over there in the so-called Middle East today, or Megiddo. This is where all the nations are going to come together, and they're going to be fighting amongst each other, but then Christ is going to be declared, and then they're going to turn and fight him. Read on up.
That's right there, right now, where they're gathering at right now.
Exactly.
Syria.
Exactly.
That's why a lot of stuff going on in Syria. And everybody's in, as we speak, when that little Syrian thing broke out, China moved their army over there in that area. Russia moved their army. Russia came in the first place because that's right by their border.
Yeah. And
a lot of armies had moved around over there just in case. I'm gonna watch you in case you jump. If you move, I'm gonna watch you in case you move. So the whole plan is already getting set up. The Most High is already setting this thing up.
And that's why the Euphrates is drying up. So guess what? The kingdoms from the east can come over across that water, man. And guess what? It's gonna be on and popping, man.
And what makes it so crazy about the whole thing, they know this is in the Bible, and they can't stop it.
Because they agree.
They can't stop it at all. Why do you think, like we keep pointing back to, they had to get the Apocrypha out of there, boy, because this give a lot of heavy information. Just saying it verbatim, man. Read that on.
And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him,
to subdue Christ,
were sore afraid.
Man, they gonna be afraid, man. And who wouldn't be, man? Because guess what? He's coming back as a god on this planet, man. Read on now.
And yet there's fight.
And yes, there's fight. He gonna make them fight him, man. They gonna be shaking in their boots, man. But he gonna make them fight, man.
The majesty, and he in the front, and they got millions of chariots just lining the skies all the way back, and they just sitting up there like, scared out their mind, but still,
Come on.
let's fight.
Yeah, they.
You mean you? Yeah.
I don't know why I want to fight them, but let's fight them. That's pride they gonna have.
Yeah,
too.
that's exactly right, man. We'll get that precept. Let's get Isaiah real quick, and we're gonna jump right back. Isaiah 47:3.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 3.
Oh, your precept in the Ezra. We coming right back. Go ahead.
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered.
The nakedness of America, because it was prophesied in even Isaiah's time. Their nakedness, their sins. Read on up.
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen.
All the nations gonna know then that this is a wicked nation. Read on up.
I will take vengeance.
Christ saying he's gonna take vengeance. Read on up.
And I will not meet thee as a man.
Christ is not coming back how he was as a disciple.
Man.
Guess what? He coming back as a God on the planet, man. No games to be played, man. Let's go back.
Hey,
Man.
I'm scared for
I'll
the
say, man, that just had me shaking.
Here
Right
you
now.
go, boy.
I ain't coming back as no man, though. You ain't seeing the same. It's the same, man.
Hey, that's some heavy stuff, boy. I love them scriptures right there, boy.
Hey, man.
Hey, it make me Jeremiah 51:20, boy. Say, thou art my battle axe, boy, for real. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra.
2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight.
Read on, huh?
And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword.
Now listen to this. Read that again. Now he neither what?
He neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
So Christ didn't have nothing in his hand. He didn't even raise his hand up. Read on, huh?
But only I saw that he sent out his mouth as it had been a blast of fire.
A blast of what?
A blast of fire.
Read on, huh?
And out of his lips a flaming breath.
That's where they get all this X-Men stuff, man. Christ is gonna do this literally, man. Read that again, huh?
But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests.
Different type of explosions. You can't even describe that, man. Read on up.
Verse 11. And they were all mixed together.
All those substances were mixed together, man. Read on up.
The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight.
So Christ is just gonna whisper a word. I know a lot of times if brother watch comics or whatnot, it's this one superhero called Black. He's an inhuman and he don't speak. But when he open up his mouth, guess what? That's that blast. This is where they get this stuff from, man. All the comic books, man, they reading the Bible, man, because they see that we were mighty men in our times, man. And guess what? Christ is coming back as a mighty God on the planet again. Read on, huh?
And burned them up, every one.
And did what?
And burned them up, every one.
So Christ is going to open his mouth and burn up all of them, man. Read on, huh?
So that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived.
Nothing was what?
Nothing was to be perceived.
He destroyed everything, man. Their tanks, their armies, their guns, their helicopters, all these things, he burned it up with the breath of his voice. Read on, huh?
And that's just speaking, because it said like his words are a flame of fire.
Exactly.
And just he just gonna speak the word of the Bible,
Exactly.
yeah, just like he did when it existed. When Yahweh did when it existed, let there be light, let them fall, let them burn.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be no. It ain't gonna be no. They getting shots off and all this, and he dodging, man.
Yeah,
like,
none of that, man.
It's just gonna be
There's no matrix type of stuff,
lay it
man.
down. You know what I'm saying? And you got, I don't care that all these armies together laying it down.
That's right. And that's that fire he be baptized with too.
Yeah.
That too.
Fire, he go baptize
Exactly,
with.
right?
So
That's exactly right. Read on, huh?
But only dust and smell of smoke was, so that upon a sudden of a number of multitude, nothing was to be perceived.
All was destroyed. Read on, huh?
But only dust and smell of smoke.
Man,
When
ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Read on.
When I saw this, I was afraid.
Read that again.
When I saw this, I was afraid.
Ezra was afraid, man. He was afraid even to see the prophesied, to see that vision, man.
Hey, read that again.
But only dust and smell of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw this,
When he read this,
I was afraid.
all of us is afraid.
Afraid, boy. Let me get you one more on this, man, because boy, this stuff sent me chills. This is one of my favorites too. Give me Habakkuk, man. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 16, man. This is one of my man. I love this, man, because this kind of puts you in the mindset like it's no game's gonna be played in that day. That's why this made to kind of make our people afraid to hurry up and repent. And brothers and sisters that's in the truth, guess what? Stay on that righteous path, man. Don't waver to the right or to the left, man. Do what's commanded of you, man, so you don't have to see this and go through this. Read this.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 16.
Y'all can precept this with second Ezra. Read that out.
When I heard, my belly trembled. My lips quivered at the voice.
Because guess what? Christ was giving him a vision of what was to come too. Habakkuk 2. Read on out.
My lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones.
Like when you done heard that very bad news, man, it just quiver your bones, man. Read on out.
And I trembled in myself.
What did Habakkuk do?
And I trembled in myself.
Read on out.
That I might rest in the day of trouble.
Habakkuk was saying that he want to be dead when Christ comes back.
Yeah.
He wants to be dead. He do not want to see this in 3D, man.
And all this everybody be talking, I can't wait till you get back. I can't. Shoot.
You better listen to the prophets,
man. Man, it just better happen. I hope if I come, I'm asleep. You know what I'm saying? I wake up and like, what happened now?
For real.
Yeah.
all praise.
For real. Read that again up.
That I might rest in the day of trouble.
Let's see what Christ's gonna do. Read on now.
When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops.
What is Christ gonna do?
He will invade them with his troops.
He gonna invade the planet Earth with his troops. His troops are the angels, man. He gonna invade this place, man. It's gonna be like anything we had never seen, man. Like you say, Independence Day, the resurrection ain't gonna have nothing on this, man. Let's go back to Ezra. Oh, we finished there. Let's go back to Revelations 14.
Book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them
with his breath. Read on out.
For he is the Lord of lords and King of kings.
Why does it say Christ is the Lord of lords and King of kings? Why? Why?
Because he has more powers than any.
That's part of it. What you got out?
Because he's the most awesome.
That's a part of it too, but now what we're looking for, what you got out?
Would you agree?
Because guess what? What are we called?
Lords.
Exactly. And what else are we called?
Kings.
We're gonna be kings too. So guess what? He's kings of us because we kings, and he's Lord of us because we lords. We are the kings of the lords of this planet Earth, man. That's what we telling our people, man. You know, read on out.
These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
And talk going into the angels.
And that's also saying, for he is lords, he is Lord of lords. He came from us. Like when he said he came from that seed right there. Yeah. When he brought him back, he came. Remember, he said, he even told him, prophesied about making him. Yeah, you're gonna be as one of them. And he said, hey, that's what he's also saying. He's Lord of the lords, and he's a king of the king. And you notice our small letters too. We the small letter Lord, and we the small letter king.
Read verse
15. Even David's small letter king.
Yeah, right. A lot of people love, like we say, he's great, man, but that's not who Yahushua is. That's not who's coming back. Our Lord and Savior is coming back, not King David. It was just prophesied he was going to come out of the loins or the sperm or the lineage of King David. Read 15.
Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Jumping back up to verse 1. That's who those multitudes, those waters is a similar to. Read on out.
Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
Read that again up.
And the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
Going into the 10 common markets is going to turn on America. That's what going into what we reiterate, the Brexit. That's what that's going into. That's what the U.S.-Russia nuclear treaty is going into, because they didn't renew that. This is the start of that. That's why you see Greece, their euro is falling. Everybody that Most High is going to break all that up, man. And then they're going to hate America, because America is going to keep getting richer and they not going to be having the same wealth as America. So he gonna put it in their hearts to hate them.
And America has more of God's gold than everybody else. They got more of us,
yeah,
than everybody else. So they rich because who make them rich?
Exactly,
we do. And that's one thing they like. Well, shoot, y'all got a whole lot of God, the gold. We can only I was spent that now. We ain't spent all ours.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because now, hey man, hold on, America's gonna be stingy, man. I gave y'all, man. So they ready to come and get some milk.
Exactly. Read verse 16 again.
And the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
The EU is gonna hate. Read that again.
And the tired of this shit. Hold on, man. Y'all done did this for too long. Read that again. Verse 16. And the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
They're gonna hate America. Read on now.
And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
And do what?
And burn her with fire.
Now let's see how they're gonna do this. Jump over to Revelation chapter 19, verse 11, because 17, 18, and 19 is going in chronological order. Read that.
19 Revelations 19 and 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat
no, that ain't. I mean 14. I mean 18 and 11. 18 and 9. Like
Revelation chapter 18, verse 9. And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Now jump up to verse, I missed it. 15. No, 8, and we'll read that.
Okay. Revelation chapter 18, verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
In what?
In one day.
Read on now.
Death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
That's letting you know it ain't gonna be no long drawn out. They said this gonna happen in one day. It don't take nothing but a second to push a button to send these nuclear bombs over here. This is one day. All this gonna be, they ain't finna be drawn out in this, and then next week we'll see where we at. No, this one day, he said. Go ahead.
Read on.
She shall be utterly burned with fire.
She shall be utterly what?
Burned with fire.
That's going into that nuclear destruction that the 10 common markets gonna bring on America.
For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.
Read on now.
And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Because they know they ain't gonna be able to make no more money with America. She's gonna be destroyed, man. So that's gonna make all the other nations bad. Read on up.
Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon.
That great city what?
That great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Guess what? They're gonna be judged in 1 hour. And is this true? Yes, because guess what? Russia has a missile that can reach Russia to America and destroy Texas off the map in 1 hour, man. So this is letting you know that guess what? These prophecies is no joke, man.
And they got those rockets on them. They get here in 30 minutes. They just got to go into the atmosphere, take them thrust through the atmosphere. That's why they're trying to stop North Korea from getting in the atmosphere, because that's how the missiles travel fast, and that's what they're trying to do. So this is going to happen not just in 1 day now. Now we see it's going to happen in an hour. So it's not going to be no long drawn out. Everybody think it's going to be like we'll wake up in the morning after a couple of bombs, go out, turn it on the news and see what happened last night, like we're watching the ESPN or something. No, Oh, this is going to be gone in 1 hour.
Yeah. And guess what? You ain't going to be able to fly out of the United States either. You ain't going to be able to catch a boat. 1 hour, man, you ain't going nowhere, partner. You ever let it
Ain't
go?
none of that. Oh man, let me get on my. What was that? American Apocalypse. Y'all ever seen that? Where they had the people, that dude got on the plane. They was able to get on the plane when the bomb was on their way there. Get on the plane and go and escape somewhere else and hide out in a tunnel before the bombs hit. And I'm like, nah, man. That's their plan. So.
Let's go back to Revelations
17 and 17.
Yeah.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 17. For God had put in their hearts to fulfill his will.
So he gonna put in the 10 Commandments or the EU nation to guess what? Do his will, man, to come against this nation. Read on up.
And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast.
And to do what?
And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast.
Read on up.
Until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
This last precept, another one. Read verse 18 now.
Verse 18. And the woman which thou
Hold
saw.
on, let me get these two. Give me Isaiah 34. Because this all goes into this too. Because like we said, they bridged into the Greco-Roman Empire. And the Greek word for Esau is Idumea. Let's see the judgment on Idumeans. Give me Isaiah 34. 6, 5, 5. Yeah, 5, 6. Jump up. Give me yes. 4.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
That's that nuclear bomb, because when it goes off, it looks like it's a mushroom cloud or a scroll that's rolled together. Read on up.
And all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Read on up.
For my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
In the kingdoms. Read on up.
Behold, it shall come upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse.
Read that again.
Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
Idumea is the Greek word for Edom. So that's talking about the Edomites. Read on up.
And upon the people of my curse to judge.
And it's going to fall on the Israelites, man. Because guess what? 2/3 of our people are going to be put to death if they do not repent. Read on up.
Verse 6. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams.
So this is a great sacrifice. Read on up.
For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra.
Basra is the capital of Mount Seir, or
it's capital of Idumea today.
Yeah, it's going into the
today.
same
It's
thing.
the same
Now,
capital.
When we bring it up to today, what is the capital? What is the headquarters of Esau? Washington, D.C. Read on up.
The Lord had a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
It's going to be a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, man. Let's go back to 18.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
It's the great city. Now, I know a lot of times people see that city and they just, it says city, it didn't say country. Guess what? It's a similitude for country. And that one city, forget all the precepts that we done brought out. City, it said Vatican. That's what it means, Vatican City. But no, they do not have the power and all the things that we done outlined like America has, man. They're not ruling over the kingdoms over the earth, man.
And that's just going the same, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. He overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. You just think he just did Sodom and Gomorrah, or was it more countries? Exactly. Just Sodom and Gomorrah.
And they called Babylon the city, and even though it had conquered Daniel,
exactly, it was a country.
Eastern area,
Middle East,
it still was called a great city.
Yeah.
Read verse 18.
Verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Like we say, Vatican City is not ruling over the kings over the earth, man. This is America, man. Give me this last precept. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 7. Because this is one thing that our people have to learn and realize too, man. I forgot to bring this out a couple of weeks ago. Because a lot of times our people don't want liberation. They want to bring all the other nations along with them, man. But with liberation, guess what? You also have to be in line with the destruction of your enemies. They go hand in hand. Because what if we bring Esau in the kingdom with us? Man, guess what? We'll be fighting in the kingdom, man.
Right. Yeah, because sooner or later, the one that your friend is still gonna wind up doing what his natural purpose is, and they're gonna wind up. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be fighting. It's gonna, and that's why the Most High said, I gotta wipe them all. I know what I created them for.
Because he created a perfect good and a perfect evil, man.
That's exactly right.
So guess what? That perfect evil is gonna continue to do evil perfectly every single time.
Exactly.
So if we make it to the kingdom, guess what that thing gonna do? Evil.
And that's why I say you gotta trust the Most High instead of trusting what you're feeling. Because the Most High said, that's your enemy. I believe him. So what can my enemy do for me? Nothing. So my enemy is not gonna ever do nothing good for me. And if he do something good for me, it's to get me back, to get me to believe, trust him to tear me down.
That's exactly.
But that's your enemy. I don't understand what other definition y'all people coming up with enemy.
Before you touch it to that, just like the same story we tell all the time. Look, the man picked the snake up on the side of the road. He nourished the snake, was mangled and trampled and tore up. The man nourished the snake. He put it all back together and made it work. The snake looking good. He said, he looked at the snake. He said, dang, snake, you healthy. And the snake bit him. And the man said, dang, why you bite me all this stuff I did for you? He said, because you knew I was a snake when you picked me up. So guess what? That's what the Lord did for Edom. Guess what? He made Edom as a perfect evil. He made us as a perfect good. He made them as a perfect evil. So guess what they're going to continue to do? Evil perfectly.
Exactly.
So if you take them to the kingdom, they're going to do the same old thing, man.
Let's read this last one.
Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous.
Read that again.
So of thy people.
So of thy people, of the Israelites, we have to learn to accept the salvation of us only, man. Read on up.
Was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemy.
Guess what? We got to acknowledge both of those things. We got to acknowledge our salvation, but we got to also acknowledge, guess what? Our enemies can't come into the kingdom with us. Read that one more time. Let that sink in for brothers and sisters that's still wavering on Stockholm Syndrome.
Wisdom of Solomon, 18, chapter 17. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous, the Israelites, read on, and destruction of the enemy,
and the destruction of our enemies.
And it's not our business to tell the Most High who our enemy was. He told us who our enemy was. So we can't be talking about, well, I like this one because this dude. No, the Most High say that that's your enemy. Therefore, that's your enemy, and he's gonna destroy him. You ain't nothing you can do. You can put him in your house and have him doing everything. You can have him eating at the plate with your children. It ain't gonna matter. They gonna be destroyed. He said, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I created everything, and that's what I tell. That's what God asked me about. I said, man, look, if the Most High told me they my enemies, I want to believe that that's what they are.
Point blank, man. Give me this law. Give me Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3. Like we say, we always like to, we tell our brothers and sisters to keep the laws, but a lot of times they don't know the law. So we like to bring out a law each and every time after our class. Brothers and sisters, write these things down. Read that right quick.
Well, Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Now, that commandment is real heavy because a lot of times people make anything gods. Right now, our people is making America their God because they don't want to hustle. Exactly. Making Nipsey Hussle their God when he is not even of our people, man. That's why the Bible says, blessed is he that read it, because with your reading, you get understanding of these things. You know, we know he was in the community, but he's not our people. He does not have our best interest at heart. Our people got to stop making America their God, because you see what the end of America is in Revelation 17. You know, so let brothers and sisters, let that sink in. Like we say, reach out to us, call us, brothers that's on Periscope, share the videos, brothers and sisters that's on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel and help us push this truth to the four corners of the earth. We thank brothers and sisters that, y'all hold on for a minute, y'all hold on. We thank brothers and sisters that's been donating to the cause. That money has been put to good use to push this truth, man. You know, and with that, we say shalom.
Shalom. Subscribe.
Shalom.